And I said laughing. Laughing is so important. I love to laugh. I think that it kind of keeps me young. And it's not the kind of laugh that like, ha ha, it's the belly laugh.
If you can keep your gut healthy, everything else is healthy.
When your gut is not functioning properly, you aren't able to absorb the nutrients from the foods that you eat.
Today's session is titled Natural Care for Holistic Health, and we will be diving into the power of natural healing in practical ways to care for our mind, body, and spirit every single day. Now, before I introduce our very wonderful speaker, Annabelle, to all of you, I would like Sunny to share a few words for Annabelle in today's session. Sunny, over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Anna. I don't want to take too much time away from Annabelle. We met at a Thai event a couple of weeks ago. I was so impressed with her mindsets and what she has done. And I'm like, would you be kind to come to our Life by Design and add value to our community? And she said, Sunny, absolutely. And so we truly appreciate you coming to the show. And over to you, Annabelle.
So it's now my absolute pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker for today. Annabelle Santos is a visionary biochemist, product formulator, and entrepreneur with over 23 years of expertise at the intersection of science, nature, and wellness. As a founder and CEO of Spa Day, Annabelle pioneered the development of a proprietary olive oil, glycerine, a breakthrough ingredient that powers her line of all natural personal care products formulated to support skin, gut, and brain health. Annabelle is a thought leader in the wellness industry, knowing for blending scientific rigor with a deep respect for nature's healing power. She brings a unique lens to natural product manufacturing, drawing from her background in biochemistry and a personal passion for functional foods and home cooking. Annabelle strives to empower people to look, feel, and think better naturally. Let's all give a very, very warm welcome to Annabelle Santos. Annabelle, over to you.
Thank you, Anna. So I started Spa Day to create healthier people and planet with a mission to preserve life, love, and beauty through the wisdom of those natural food ingredients that I love so much. And we usually eat these ingredients on a daily basis. They're healthy, they have antioxidants, they have vitamins and nutrients. And at Spa Day, we believe that through these sustainable actions of preserving the planet and eco-friendly ingredients, along with empathy and community, we can create a kinder, more compassionate world. That is really what we're striving for in order to have, better health. And today I'm going to discuss ways that we can improve our skin, our gut, and our emotional health. So let's start with the first poll question to get us all on the right track. What does the word health mean to you? What first word that comes to your mind? If you think of the word health, what is that? What does that trigger for you? The second question is, how satisfied are you with your health? Completely, could use some help, or totally unsatisfied? And the third question is, are you suffering with any of these three at this time? Skin, gut or digestion, or any emotional health, stress or anxiety, or none, I guess. It's funny because when I ask other people that question directly, they sometimes they say health makes them think of hospital or doctor, which is the negative of what health is, right? We want to think of health in a positive way, in a wellness way, in a way that we want to strive to do better in. So let's go to the next slide. And this slide talks a little bit about skin, which is what some people said in the poll they were maybe interested in.
Before that, Annabelle, if you would like me to read out the answers, we have a couple of answers. Would you like me to? Okay, great. So
Just a few.
just a few. So one is worthwhile longevity. The other one is the ability to live long comfortably. Then we have fit physically, mentally, and spiritually. Then we have overall well-being. Then we have pain-free movement, health is wealth, mental health, balanced diet, good sleep.
Great. I love those answers. Those are all very honest. Um, and so I'm glad you're here today. We'll talk about some of those. Okay, so the skin. The reason why we need to protect our skin is it's the largest organ in our body, right? And it really protects us from the outside world. So, how do we care for our skin? We should use gentle and non-irritating products. We should, you know, use these products because they're good at nourishing the skin, giving us the vitamins, nutrients, antioxidants that we need to make the skin more resilient and stronger. It's also good for natural ingredients are good for treating skin conditions. So if there's some kind of irritation or itch or um, something that is not supposed to be happening, um, then maybe natural ingredients can help with those conditions. Uh, and natural is also safe. It's free from chemicals. It's good for the body. It's good for the planet, and it protects. The sea life. There's a lot of problems going on with the ocean waters and the waters in general, and so we need to do what we can to not put more chemicals and those forever chemicals into the environment. So that's part of the whole idea of creating a sustainable, healthier planet. And then the skin and the gut are connected. So usually when your skin is failing or you have a problem, you're probably also suffering with your gut. Um, and how do we know that we have a problem with our gut? Did we just eat something wrong and it's temporary, or is it something that's more chronic? If we see those skin issues, if we experience like bloating every time we eat, or we have cravings or disturbances with our sleep, or we have just digestion problems, we don't have the bowel movement every day, mood swings, these are all symptoms of an unhealthy gut. And when your gut is not functioning properly, you aren't able to absorb the nutrients in the foods that you eat. And therefore, you sometimes will have trouble with your emotional health, your brain health. And so those things are connected: skin, gut, and brain. So we need to take care of all three things because we want to be as healthy as possible. Uh, there's a there's a big problem surfacing in the world today, and it's a major health crisis that's due to pathogens that are in the air, in our waters, in just like making making these black dots and spots appear on people's skin. I don't know if you have seen these or experiencing them yourself, but it's a real problem. It affects the skin, it affects the gut, it affects your emotional health because the stress of having to deal with these unsightly, irritating, itchy black dots that are just spreading. It causes some shame, some lack of confidence. So the best way to address these pathogens from entering our body is to create a healthy gut that can remove these pathogens from our body naturally, and to protect our skin by putting ingredients and products that will calm the skin, soothe the skin, protect the skin. Here's some examples of what these black dots and spots look like, just so that you can identify them if you've ever seen them. Some people will say, oh no, this is an aging spot, or this is a mole, or this is acne, but it actually won't go away until we address it. And we address it through skincare, we address it through gut health. So here's another poll. Tell me something you do to practice self-care. What does that mean to you, first of all? So try to think of what self-care is and give us an answer. And how often do you make time for self-care? Hopefully you know what self-care, well, self-care means something to you. So whatever it means to you, how often do you do it? Never, occasionally, daily? This is important because this has to do with our emotional health. We sometimes experience too much stress in our life, anxiety. We need time to decompress, to breathe, to relax, to do something fun. I believe that laughter is a wonderful expression of self-care. Put yourself in a situation where you're among people that you like and have a good time. Give yourself that time for self-care. Do we have answers? Getting enough sleep. Absolutely. Sleep is when our body heals itself. So it's important to get that sleep. Um, and so some people do self-care daily. Well, I hope you sleep every day. That would be scary. Um, so we're going to look at the next slide, which talks about some ways we can practice self-care. So there are different ways to practice self-care. Here are some. Eating clean. Okay, so we eat every day. Now we have choices to make on a daily basis. What are we going to eat? Are we going to eat healthy all the time? Are we going to give ourselves a little treat once in a while? I think balance is always very important. I like functional foods that not only nourish me, but also do something um, for my body in other ways. I like olive oil, does a lot in terms of providing antioxidants for preventive care, for nourishing the skin, gut, and brain all at the same time. The olive oil is my ingredient. I love it. I took olive oil and I turned it into olive glycerin. And that's my proprietary ingredient that I use because it's water and oil soluble. So I made olive oil into something better. So it has all of the properties of olive oil, but it's a better for you because it can pass through the tissues and into the bloodstream. It can get through the gut lining. And if you have acid reflux, it'll help to remedy that and create a more like neutral environment. It's also really good for uh, adding when you add anything to the olive glycerin, it actually makes those other ingredients more powerful because it can absorb. Uh, when you eat, you should choose things that have these kind of nutritional benefits that taste good and have all these nutritional benefits. Um, Sleep, we talked about already. Sleep is important. That's when your body has a chance to heal itself. So it's important to, everyone has a different number of hours that they require in order to function properly or at their best. Learn what yours is and try to, stick to that. Try to keep a normal bedtime ritual that is free from all of the distractions that we all go to bed with our phone in our hand. Maybe put the phone somewhere else. I know that's hard because our alarm is on it, but trying to find a safe, comfortable place to sleep is important. I meditate every day. I think that it just gives us a break to kind of like look within ourselves and just kind of check in to see how we're feeling, and also it helps us to relax. Right, there are different methods of meditation. Find one that suits you, whether it's a guided meditation, breathing exercises. You can do exercises like yoga, to supplement your other exercise that you do. May walking or running but exercise is important because it helps your body to produce more oxygen. And I said laughing. Laughing is so important. I love to laugh. I think that, it kind of keeps me young, and we all want to look and feel young forever. So, and it's not the kind of laugh that like, ha ha, it's the belly laugh. It's the real enthusiastic, make you like, bend over and brace yourself kind of laugh. That it's real fun. And it gets like your breath moving too. And as it goes into deep breathing, it's something you could do every day. I live in New York City, and when I'm on the subway, I don't look at my phone. I sit there and I breathe, and because there's nothing else to do, right? If we stop looking at our phones, we can think of other things that are more mindful that we can do to practice self-care at any time. Whenever I go into a meeting or I have an important event, I take 3 deep breaths, and you probably have your own way of breathing, but I always exhale first. If you exhale first and remove all those toxins from your body, then you can inhale all of that positive energy and that goodness. So you exhale, and then that helps you get a more productive inhale. And then if you do that 3 times, you will feel something. If you feel lightheaded, that means you don't breathe properly to begin with. And so we need to be more mindful of that, right? Because that helps everything else function better. Our brain, our thoughts, our feelings, our body, everything. And to play, I think we don't have enough fun. I think as a society, we're just so caught up in too much work. And I know that you're in a workplace right now, but work hard, work smart, do everything at work that needs to be done. But then when it's time to not work, try to play, try to relax, try to appreciate, the people around you in your life, and the self-care that you can afford yourself. I think all these things, we can all do better at these things. And they're things that are for free, really. I mean, you're gonna do these things, whenever you can. So let's try to just make it maybe more frequent, maybe 30% more. 5 ways to improve health. Okay, so we're just gonna run down and make sure that we get a little bit more information about this. How do we do it? So when possible, choose natural products for your skin and home. The things that we encounter on a daily basis affect us, right? So every time you wash your hands, every time you take a shower, every time you drink your water, like all of these things make a difference. Like, what materials are you using for your cup? How much waste are you producing on a daily basis? Let's try to be a little bit more sustainable. Let's try to use natural ingredients. Reduce. One of my first jobs while I was in college was I canvassed for a campaign, an environmental campaign called Reduce, Reuse, Recycle. And this is a long time ago when that was still a new thing. And I went door to door asking for donations for memberships. But we're still, and this was like 30 years ago, right? We're still talking about reduce, reuse, recycle. And it isn't really working, but we have to keep at it. We have to be more mindful, and we, do our part. Stay hydrated. Hydration leads to more oxygen in the body, which is needed for healthy cell rejuvenation and proper organ function. Oxygen is, the key to life, right? So we really need more oxygen to produce more energy, to produce healthier bodies. So how do we get more oxygen? We stay hydrated, we eat good foods. It's all about like what you put into your body. So make good choices. And some of those foods that we can eat are gut healthy foods, right? So this is the whole like functional food thing. We can eat foods that taste good, but also do other things. These gut healthy foods that I list here are good for keeping your gut strong and in balance and working properly to ward off those pathogens that are, becoming more rampant in our society. We have to create an environment that those pathogens do not like to exist in. And it's so easy to do if you just like pick a couple of things that you enjoy, right? Like instead of eating chips, maybe have a bowl of pumpkin seeds at your desk. They actually are really good. like pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds. Try it. Mix them into your nuts. Sprinkle them onto your yogurts. Um, Apple cider vinegar is one of my favorites. Like, how do we incorporate that into our life? You can, there is a supplement that you could take. It's a pill. You could take those. You can take apple cider vinegar and add it to, your cup of tea, or just the hot, like hot water, and make apple cider vinegar. You could put some honey, some lemon. What a great treat for your gut. That'll help immensely. Cook with garlic. I love to put garlic in everything. It's such an easy food to add to your current dishes, and it makes them taste better. Fermented foods. What are those fermented foods? They're like kimchi and sauerkraut. There's a rice. There's like a fermented rice. There's a lot of ways to add fermented foods to your diet. Probiotics. I think that after COVID, everybody started to take a probiotic because everyone started to feel gut issues. I know personally, I started to experience gut issues, and it led me. I was really bloated, and I just felt like I wasn't. I didn't have the same energy level that I normally had. And it led me to actually create a product called Guts Up, which I use basically whenever I feel like acid reflux or bloating or constipation. These things are signs that something's not right with your gut, right? So probiotics help with that. Increase your fiber to have more regular bowel movements, and avoid processed foods and sugar. It's really hard to avoid processed foods because it seems like everything is processed. But I learned to cook at a very young age because I had to. I had two parents who were constantly away from home working. So at the very, very young age, like I think, even at the age of 5, when I was in kindergarten, I remember, just having to like feed myself. I think, if you learn to cook, then you can control what you eat, because otherwise we're victims of, what is available at fast food restaurants and things like that. Um, so, pick one thing that you like to eat and try to learn how to make it. It starts with that. Um, and sugar. Oh, the sugar. So whenever I think of sugar, I think of like candy or just like real sweet things. But sugar is in a lot of things. And if you look at like sodas and juices, try to look for real sugar. If you're going to have them, real sugar is better than, like, cane sugar is better than high fructose corn syrup. Um, so, read the labels, see what you're putting in your body. I think that it's about time for us to have this health journey together of like, okay, what are you doing? Let me see if I can, try that. There's another poll question though. You can answer this as well, which is, what is one new action you will take to improve your health? So it could be about eating. It could be about, one of the other self-care measures. Let me know what you think. Tell me, where you are with this. Less coffee. Ah, yes. Well, I was one of those people who used creamer in my coffee all the time. And then I realized, like, why is it that in the morning I kind of have a stomach ache? So then I stopped using the coffee creamer. You buy it in a bottle, you pour it in the coffee. I stopped using that and I just used milk and sugar. And I was like, oh, okay, I feel a little better. So then I took away the milk and then I just left the sugar. And then I was like, okay, wait, let me take the sugar out and let's replace it with agave syrup. So I put agave syrup. I was like, ooh, this is good. No more bloating, no more. I had no acid reflux, nothing. And so just recently I started drinking black coffee. So so these are my baby steps to becoming more healthy. hopefully you can try it. Eat more slowly. Oh, I know. Talk about that. So first of all, I have a rule at my kitchen table. I have two kids who are, one just graduated college and one's in college. And ever since they were younger, I had a rule at the table, there's no phones. You're not even allowed to bring it to the kitchen area. You're not allowed. It doesn't exist. Um, and you know, we eat together. We have that time where if you have something on your mind, and I always have something on my mind. So my poor kids have always, have always had to be prepared for whatever line of questioning. Um, but it's a really good time to connect, right? That's your first community, your family. Connect with them, see what's happening. See, it doesn't have to be monumental things. It could just be like little things. Oh, mom, I saw this person the other day, or um, oh, I did this in school. Whatever the case is, like if you allow the space to be there, someone will fill it. It might be you, but it might be them. And how wonderful that would be, right? Someone will fill it. You could just be silent and wait or say nothing. And that's kind of interesting too. Okay, what are some of the answers to the poll question? Oh, is it just, am I reading? Okay. Okay, fermented drinks. Oh my God, this became such a popular thing after COVID with the kombucha, right? I I loved kombucha. I think that it's great. I don't buy it anymore because I don't need it as much. I used to buy kombucha because I would feel uneasy in my gut, but now I don't need it anymore because I have all these other practices that are a little bit more regular that requires me to need it less, right? But I told a friend, oh yeah, if you have iced tea, if you can make tea and add a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, it's kind of like kombucha. And she was like, oh my God, I could do that because kombucha is expensive, right? So, I mean, try it. I like it.
We have the screenshot, Annabelle, for all the answers. So it's snacking, exercise, healthy food, sleep better, drinking more water, cutting down sugar, workout, becoming disciplined. Yeah.
Excellent. Those are all things that, if you're already doing those things, let's try to add a different thing, right? Or do that thing more often. You do it so often that you forgot what you used to do. That's how we train our brains to, live healthier, right? Just slowly get to a more balanced state, a state where your body can exist at a higher level of efficiency and energy level. So I want to leave time for Q&A. So let's put up the QR code so people can find out a little bit more about me and what I do, and follow me. Follow me because this is really the start of a new health journey that I'm taking, and I'd love for you to be a part of it. I'm going to try to be more engaged with videos and this kind of conversation. I'll dive a little deeper into foods and to how to make simple choices that are very impactful, as well as, I will continue to track those black dots and spots that are appearing on people's skin and how I have I've created ways to remedy that that are effective. And it's very difficult to find antifungal, antibacterial, antiparasitic products that are not pharmaceutical, not prescriptions, but are more natural that work. So that has been one of my objectives over the last 2 years, and fortunately, I've made really great products that are working. So if you need those kind of products or information, just click on that link. I will have a newsletter where I will share all these things So if you sign up, then I can tell you what those things are as they come along.
Awesome. Team, can we give a lot of love to Annabelle?
Thank you.
We truly appreciate you. So many insights, health insights that we can take away. Strategies simply that can mean very simple to implement. And at the end of the day, is what we can implement. So gut is your ultimate health. If you can keep your gut healthy, everything else is healthy. So thank you. Thanks,
You're
Annabelle.
welcome.
And the skin, of course. Yeah. Take care. Bye. Have a
Thank
good
you
day.
so much.
And
Yeah.
until next time, everyone, please take care of yourselves, mind, body, and spirit. Stay curious, stay kind, and remember your health is something you can design with small, mindful choices every day. And let us all live our lives by design and not by default.